Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Upstate Real Producers Podcast Beyond the Pages, where we shine a light on standout realtor professionals who are building more than just businesses, they're building community. Today's guest is no exception. We're heading toward Tiger Town to chat with Joey Martin, a dedicated realtor serving the greater Clemson area. Joey is not just connecting people to homes, he's connecting them to a lifestyle, legacy, and the local values that make Upstate so unique. Welcome, Joey Martin.
Thank you so much for having me. Extremely happy to be here. And I'll start off by saying, JW Martin Real Estate, that's my company, does not exist without my team. So I don't want to put all the glory on me today. I want to let's talk about my team too. So my team's very important to me.
Great. Well, Joey, let's just dive right into it. So, Joey, tell us a little bit more about your background. Did you always kind of grow up in the Clemson area? How did you kind of get to the Clemson area?
Born and raised in Clemson, okay. And until I was the ripe old age of 3 years old, and then we made the big move over to Central South Carolina. Yeah, big relocation there, 3 miles down the road, and so I grew up there in Central, went to Central Elementary School, Edwards Middle School, and Daniel High School. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely a local.
Nice. And so obviously you're a realtor. What was that path to you becoming a realtor? What was kind of like that alpha moment for you? You saying like, you know what, this is what I want to do.
That's an interesting story. It wasn't planned by any stretch of the imagination. Kind of my backstory, I come from very humble beginnings. Yeah. My mom worked at a textile mill, retired after 36 years. One of the hardest working human beings I've ever encountered in my life. And I hold her in very high regard. And my father was disabled with agoraphobia, bipolar, and manic depression disorder. Yeah. And so someone had to be with him at all times. And so my childhood, a lot of things growing up there were a little different. Someone always had to be there with Dad. My mother had to adjust her work schedule, things like that. But that being said, I wanted to, I don't come from a wealthy background or anything like that. There was no discussion of college or anything really beyond high school other than get a job at the mill and get a steady paycheck. And I started working at 14. I fibbed about my age so I could go work at Long John Silver's, the big sexy career there.
It worked.
Yeah. So I wanted to work very early on. So 14, I was working at Long John Silver's. I started working at a convenience store. I was building speaker boxes and things like that for my friends in high school. So I've always been kind of entrepreneurial. But I was job hopping once I got out of high school. I went and worked in the mill for a while and it was miserable. I mean, it was like I was working in this 128-degree machine called a Mazzara. And so you hear this buzzer go off and you go take a break. You hear a buzzer again, You go back on. So I felt like a robot. And if you're an entrepreneur, that's very unnatural for you.
Yeah.
And so from there, I went to drove a beer truck. I drove a big rig across country, doing everything possible. Did door-to-door sales, sold vinyl siding and windows, all in a very short window of time. Wow. But I'll tell you, kind of a turning point for me was, I finally, at a point in time, when I say I come from humble beginnings and mental illness in the family, my mother and father, they finally, reached the point where they just couldn't do anymore, and they separated. So at the age of 18, I'm still in high school, a senior. He went to a mental health institution. My mother went to a battered woman's shelter, and I was left to take on the family household. And so I was not mature enough to handle that load. Yeah, let's just say that I took some habits on that weren't the best. And so I was drinking a lot, partying a lot, going wild. Eventually, our big savings plan, me and my 2 roommates I took on, we decided we'd put our mortgage payment in above the microwave in a cabinet in a jar. That was bright savings. We were also having tons of people over, and imagine that somebody stole the mortgage payment money. So the house payment got behind. Well, long and short, we had to get out of the house and parents wound up selling the house for next to nothing. I move out to a single wide in a trailer park and just kind of start life over from there. And eventually bought a little house and a car, but my party budget was more important than my bill budget. So next thing you know, my fancy sports car got repossessed. Next thing you know, I got a foreclosure statement in the mail. So my house was getting taken. And on Super Bowl Sunday, I can't even remember the year, but I was maybe 20, drinking on a fake ID, and drinking with purpose. Me and my girlfriend had just broken up, so I was knocking them back. And so decided I would drive home. My friend said, "Let me follow you." I ran off a bridge, hit a tree, flew through the windshield, woke up face down in the creek. I remember waking up just like that, wow. Faced out in January at 18 Mile Creek. Pretty chilly. I'm glad it was because it woke me up. But I got up. I was a fifth of a mile from the house. I rolled over into the back of my buddy's truck. They take me to the house. Eventually I end up in the hospital. So now here I am facing foreclosure. Car's repossessed. I'd bought this little pickup truck to get by for $750. Truck's gone. So now I'm out trying to find some side work along with my full-time job. So I'm baling hay with one of my best friends. His dad had a farm out in Pendleton. And so I'm out there baling hay all day long. Miserable work. I don't recommend it. But after working hard all day, we were out there by the barn, just kind of still carrying on and laughing. I was still smiling and laughing. Everybody's exhausted. And my buddy's dad, Mr. Davis, Jeff Davis, not Jeff Davis, not Clemson Jeff Davis. He calls himself the other Jeff Davis. Yeah. But Jeff Davis said, "Joey, you'd be really good in real estate." Yeah. And at that point in time, I didn't even know what that meant. But at that stage in my life, I was like, man, I ain't got anything going on here. I'm losing everything. And so I took him up on the offer and changed my life. So I moved down to Charleston, where I started in real estate at Rivertown Country Club. So I went from the bottom of the barrel to the upper echelon of real estate. And I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But that's how I got started. Now, was it an aha moment at that point? Not yet. Not yet at that point. I was just kind of trying to look for a way out of where I was at that time. Yeah. But as things progressed and I started to learn, I was surrounded by a lot of gray hair. And so they just took me in like I was a son and taught me everything. Yeah. Selflessly. I try to pay that forward nowadays, but taught me everything they possibly could. Took me in like a son. But I was a real estate assistant at that point in time. Yeah. And I would detail cars in the evenings, and I was a bouncer in the evenings, just whatever it took to make it. I see why, man. Yeah, I lost a little bit these days, and I'm gonna make a comeback soon. But kind of interesting path to get me there. That's really what got me my start. But I wouldn't say I hadn't had that aha moment yet. Yeah. But if you ever heard of the theory of nature versus nurture, my nature kept calling me back. Yeah. Although I was around a group of people that were trying to take me and elevate me, I always second guessed it. I think my nature was trying to call me back down to a lower level, and so I would say things in my mind like, "Man, they're just not like me. Yeah. These people just aren't like me," or I wasn't used to being around people all well dressed and prim and proper. Yeah. And so my nature was trying to pull me back down and not allow me to believe that I was worthy of being in that room. And so I was kind of fighting mentally between being a boy and a man at that point in my career. Yeah.
Good. Well, and Joey, that's one of the things I always appreciate about you. You can relate to people in so many different facets of life. Like you said, from the bottom of the barrel, or hey, they seem like they got it all at the top. So I feel like you can relate to anyone in any kind of way. So I've always appreciated that about you.
I'll say that's probably why, because I've lived the life of both, you know, and still tried to elevate even more. And just to be clear, I don't want it to sound like I just lived in absolute poverty as a child. My family did a very good job of making sure we were well taken care of. I obviously didn't miss many meals, but at the same time, this was a whole new world that I was introduced to at this point in my career. 21 years old, you know, just entering into this really high-end world of real estate, but my mind's still thinking like this young kid who just ran off a bridge not too long ago. You know? So I'm real big on that nature versus nurture thing, because you know, that theory of nature versus nurture, people say that it's in your genetics or how you're going to turn out. You're genetically inclined to turn out a certain way, which is true when it comes to certain heart conditions or things like that. But when it comes to like the way you, as far as turning out to be successful, it doesn't have to be that way.
No,
it doesn't have to be that way. If you surround yourself with the right people and you commit yourself to being the right kind of person, then you can absolutely change the whole trajectory of your entire life.
100%. Well, let's talk Clemson a little bit. As you know, that's dear to me. I played at Clemson 11 through 14. Joey, I met you in 2017. Obviously, you were born and raised in Clemson, and Clemson's just changed drastically. Like, you know, it's not like when I came in 2011, like I could ride the moped up and down Tiger Boulevard and I didn't fear getting hit. Now it's a little bit different. Is this a unique market? You know, you have the college energy that's coming from the university. You had investment opportunities, a lot of pride in the Clemson area as well. Tell us, like, what makes Clemson such a unique real estate market?
I'll say as a company, you know, J.W. Martin Real Estate, we deal with all throughout the entire Upstate. We have one of our offices in Clemson and one in Seneca. But Clemson is close to home and very special to me. So yes, Clemson is a unique market in the fact that you've got a lot of folks that have lived there their entire life. And there's a lot of changes going on right now, a lot of growth. And the growth is on purpose because the university intends to grow that student body continuously. And so there's a lot of growth going on, and it's kind of ruffled some feathers of the folks that have lived there their entire life. You know, we've got, for the first time, you know, 7-story buildings going in downtown, and proposals for 8-story buildings and things like that.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's not being well received. But on the other end of that, when it comes to investment opportunities, there certainly are investment opportunities. I could say especially with parents of students, the opportunity to potentially purchase a rental condo or townhome and then lease the additional bedrooms out and help cover the cost of student housing for their child. So there's ways to utilize that to offset some cost for the family and the student housing cost. That's one thing. But then outside of that, you've got all these really nice neighborhoods that are walking distance to downtown. So there's still great restaurants, and it's not strictly college stuff downtown, right? You got nice shopping to do downtown, nice restaurants to go to. So that downtown area is very nice, but then you go a little further and you've got places like Patrick Square, which I was actually the head of real estate at Patrick Square from 08 till 11, and started J.W. Martin in 2011. But Patrick Square has its own unique personality, a little kind of called a traditional neighborhood development, but like a town within a town right there. Great restaurants. You got, you know, Rick Irwin's right there. You got
Kite Hill Brewery.
Yeah, Kite Hill Brewery, Joe's Pizza.
Yeah, Wine Bar.
Just all right there within the neighborhood. You can golf cart up if you want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff going on in Clemson.
Great. And when it comes to you and, you know, your type of clientele, do you primarily work with like primary residents, investor, parents that's, you know, looking for homes for college kids, or is it just a mix of both? What would you say it is?
It's definitely a team thing. And so my teammates, all my team, has different niches. You know, I have some agents that their niche is Lake Kiwi and Lake Hartwell. I have certain agents who work with investment properties and things like that. And then I have certain agents that work with first-time home buyers. Just kind of depends on the agent and kind of what their kind of niche is. Myself, you know, thankfully I've started to explore real estate development. And I've gotten into some real estate developments and developing properties for production home builders and things like that. And also, I still continue to pursue investment properties myself as well. So I have a portfolio of 33 rental homes myself.
Yeah.
And so to have that kind of support for my agents when they're working with someone looking to build a rental portfolio, I'm always there to assist and guide and help.
Yeah, and I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were a big part of like with Great Southern Homes kind of going in that Pendleton area, right? Did you kind of like, you and your team kind of help spearhead and kind of get all that kind of going, which is crazy. If you haven't been in the area, Pendleton is nowhere near what it was years ago.
Yeah, I don't want to take credit where credit's not due. I'll tell you, Michael Neary, the owner of Great Southern Homes, is an incredible visionary. And so our sales team partnered up with them, and it started with Wren Point, was the first neighborhood that went there.
Yep.
And now it's really just grown and grown and grown. And you have hundreds of homes right there, and swimming pool and a pavilion for events, and just a really, really cool atmosphere. Extremely affordably priced too, as it's hard to find homes you can find homes in there in the low 200s right now.
Yeah.
It's
wow.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really unheard of, especially with today's interest rates. You know, I always say, and it's especially if you're not looking to be right in that Clemson market, but still want access to it. It's not really a big difference in my mind at all.
I agree. It's kind of merging together.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, I know Clemson extremely well. I've lived there. I've played there. For someone who's looking to get in that Clemson market or buy and live, what's that one thing that they should know before like just jumping in?
I'll say Clemson has a lot of rules and regulations with single-family homes. Most of the single-family homes in Clemson, you couldn't purchase that single-family home and allow 3 or 4 college students to live in it because of the rules and regulations that Clemson has in place. So as you're looking at property, or if you wanted to purchase a home to potentially do something like that, you'd probably want to look in some of the neighboring towns that are adjacent to Clemson.
Yeah.
But and so when it comes to investment homes within Clemson, stick with if you're looking for a student rental that's close walking distance to the campus, you'd probably want to stick with a student condo.
Yeah.
Because they allow those things to happen.
Yeah. And speaking of working with your clients, what would you say kind of like you specifically your philosophy when guiding your clients through the buying process? As you know, it can be very competitive. It can be very fast paced. What would be some of your philosophies on helping them with that?
Authenticity, man. Authenticity is where it's at. It's we're a no BS kind of real estate company.
Yeah.
And perfect world. Yeah, we're kind of in a world of real estate where you got internet-based leads coming in, and you're meeting people at a house for the first time, and you don't even know each other. You don't get a chance to even get to know one another. I think is, even if it's outside at the hood of the car, let's take a minute and get to know each other a little bit. And I need to assess, we need to talk for a minute. And so I can ask you a few questions. I'm big on two ears and one mouth, using proportionately. I like to listen to my clients, and that's what I've taught my agents, to listen more than you talk, and listen to the needs of the client and figure out kind of what the pain points are. What's the reason that they're looking to move in the first place? And it's usually there's milestones that happen when people move. That's what we get to be a part of, is a milestone. So this new addition to the family, you can relate, right? You might need a little bit bigger space.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me if you need to. So, new addition to the family, that's a milestone. Someone's successful, they want to get a second home, that's a milestone. Getting a vacation home, that's a milestone. Someone's maybe getting a little older and can't handle the stairs anymore. That's kind of a milestone. You need to downsize and get a little more comfortable with a little bit lower maintenance. So these are things that we need to find out as real estate professionals, is what is the real goal and what is the real reasoning behind why you're even looking in the first place.
Yeah. And Joy, I know you've worked with hundreds of clients, if not thousands at this point. Do you mind sharing a story, that a real estate deal that you had that really was an impact, not just for your clients, but even for you personally?
Kind of a funny story. That was impactful. This is not a lot of emotion based here, so there's not a lot of fluff. But there was a couple, Philip and Kelly Boyer, and they came to me. Philip lived in Central, and he was they had 2 children, and Philip was currently getting ready in the garage because his closet was so small, and his clothes didn't fit in the closet, so they needed some more space. And so they originally started looking for a home with more space, and also the in-laws were going to be joining in the purchase, and so they wanted maybe a basement finished or in-law suite kind of thing. So we started pursuing that, and we saw every home on the market that fit that category. Then in the middle, they kind of switched the decision and went back to, we're just going to do this on our own. Let's switch that. So we switched over, looked at probably 20 homes that fit every home on the market pretty much.
Yeah.
By this time, we're getting to know each other pretty well, right? And then they switched back to the original, so we went back to the original plan. Well, as we're getting to know each other, at this point in time, nowadays people don't really ride in the car with their clients as much, but at this time, people rode in the car with me. And as we're riding around the car looking at properties, Kelly says, "Joe, you'd be great on HGTV." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And she said, "Would you like to go on the show?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." Next week, I get a call from HGTV. They had called the show, and we're talking about going on the show House Hunters.
Yeah.
And that was we went on the show with them that was a really cool experience. And so at the time, I owned a little bar and restaurant, and so we had like a big watch party and things like that. And the Boyers were invited to a watch party, and as they're watching, the people in the crowd are like, "God, they seem really mean." Well, it's just the way the TV kind of spun the story.
Yeah.
But they don't realize they're sitting right there while they're talking about them. But that had a huge impact to get the kind of exposure for the company out there.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to go on House Hunters in 2019, which is just really cool experiences.
Wow, you just never know, right? Somebody could be kidding, and it's just next thing you know, an opportunity just dropped right into your lap.
Absolutely. I definitely did not take her serious. Yeah. Definitely did not expect to be going on House Hunters.
Yeah. It's hard for me to get off how special Clemson is. I always tell people it really is something in those hills. That's not just a saying. It is a special place. But as you know, you're in a place like Clemson, in your profession, it's not just about selling homes. It's about showing up, taking a lot of pride in Clemson. What are some of those things that you're personally involved outside of just real estate and ways to impact the community?
Yeah, I'll tell you, one early on when I first opened the company, I was extremely actively involved with. I was the chairman of Central Area Business Council. I served on the board with Clemson Area Chamber of Commerce. But other than those kind of things, we like to kind of quietly donate to places. We don't want to donate out of a place of trying to get some extra views or followers on social media. We want to do it out of kindness. And so usually we like to help elderly animals and children.
Yeah.
Elderly animals and children are places that we like to donate our funds to.
Good. And also, born and raised in Clemson, you're a Clemson boy through and through. How is it being that you're from Clemson and that you own a business? Like, what does that mean to you to say you came from this child that come from very humble beginnings? Now you own 2 real estate offices, one in Clemson, one in Seneca. What does that mean to you?
I'm mildly obsessed. I'm beyond mildly obsessed with my business, and so it's everything to me. And so, looking back throughout my family history, my grandfather actually owned a car lot where Bilo is in Clemson.
Oh, wow,
a
really?
Little used car lot. Yeah, a little gravel parking lot, used car lot.
Yeah.
And then across the street where Goobers and Sardi's was, that was Martin's Grocery. So they had just a little mom and pop grocery store there.
Yeah.
And then down the road was Calvin Martin's mechanic shop. And so my family name is ingrained in Clemson throughout, decades, generations. And so the J.W. Martin name, the reason I chose to call the company J.W. Martin is to continue carrying on that family name in a positive light.
Great. So as we're wrapping up here, I really want to tell Joey, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. And as you see, no matter who you are, where you come from, there's always an opportunity. There's always a chance. Don't let anyone tell you because your circumstances that there's a ceiling on your success. Take it for someone like Joey. He used real estate as a platform to really just catapult him to the man that he wanted to be and also the business person he wanted to be as well. So Joey, again, thank you so much. And can you let our viewers know how they can find you, how they can keep up with you, any kind of way?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to come on the podcast here. Thank you so much. And you can find our website, www.jwmartinhomes.com. Just look us up on Facebook, JW Martin Real Estate, on Facebook, on Instagram at JW Martin Homes. We're on TikTok too. That is JWMAR and the number 10. It's a weird one, but yeah, we're on TikTok as well. And I also have a podcast of kind of a company podcast called Homebrew.
Yeah.
What's brewing in local business. Where the idea behind it is for other local entrepreneurs to be able to share their story and kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship. And so you can check us out on Homebrew Podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube as well.
And I also want to say this, Joey, I don't want this to slip by. I want to tell you personally, thank you. I have a story as well, as you know. I thought I was going to have a 10-year NFL career. I jumped into the publishing world, had no idea. Joey, you don't know this, but you do know this. You were my first advertiser, and you gave me so much hope in that first week by just believing in me and supporting me, and I'm forever grateful for you for that. I may not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for you, so I just want to let you know your real estate business has affected me and my family personally and will for generations as well. So I want to thank you for that as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll tell you what, you hit it well back then. That you carried yourself with confidence and tons of persistence. And so I couldn't help but do it, man. So,
well, I appreciate that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Upstate Real Producers Beyond the Pages. Don't forget to go like, comment, subscribe to our channel to keep up with our next episodes that's coming up. We'll see you the next time.